women who know the benefit of hard work, are driven by character, and have made a difference in the lives of teammates over the last 4 years. There are seasons in each one of our lives that lend themselves to some meaningful reflection, a chance to take a deep breath, to slow down, and to make sense of what just took place. As you complete your 4-year experience as a student athlete here, it provides each of us one of those types of seasons. I hope you know our mission. Our mission here is to pursue excellence in athletics and cultivate Christ-centered relationships that impact others. I love our mission. I hope that our mission is not just something we say, but that it's demonstrated in how we play. In short, our mission is a promise to you to help you become more capable in sport and life, to grow deeper in your character, and to help you come to the realization that your capabilities and your character are not meant for you alone, but also to impact the lives of others. Our department theme this year is faithfulness. And the Bible tells us in Luke 16:10 that one who is faithful in very little will be faithful in much. In the next few moments, I'd like to offer you a few practical choices, some little things, if you will. Author Darren Hardy of Success Magazine says that little things done consistently over time yield great results. So let me suggest to you 3 things. First, choose standards over feelings. Ben Newman, a performance coach who works with the University of Alabama football team, reminds us that feelings can't dictate how we show up each day. We need to live the standards that lead to success each day, regardless of how successful or disappointing yesterday was, and in spite of how hopeful or discouraged we are about tomorrow. The Apostle Paul writes to the church in Ephesus, "Be careful how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity." Choosing standards over feelings helps you redeem the time, to make the most of every day. But to choose standards over feelings, you'll need to first compile a short list of those standards. Now, I suggest you put pen to paper on this quickly. Your list might include things like, I'll give my best effort to every task. I will honor my spouse in faithfulness. I will get out of bed early to spend time with God each day. Former Navy SEAL Admiral McRaven shares a standard he learned in SEAL training. Simply make your bed. Here's the wisdom behind that simple act. He says this: if you make your bed in the morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride and will encourage you to do another task, and then another, and another. And at the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you'll come home to a bed that's made. A bed that you made. And a made bed gives you the encouragement that tomorrow will be better. Proverbs 24:33 and 34 says it this way: a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty comes upon you like a bandit. So rise and grind each day. You'll get better, not in a day, but daily. And don't let your feelings cause you regret. Choose standards over feelings. Make your bed. Next, choose person over player. This is all about living life more concerned about building who we are than what we do. Brett Ledbetter, in his book, What Drives Winning, asked some high-performing athletes a couple of questions around this topic. Allow me to ask them to you. You can just answer them in your head. The first one: who led the nation in points or goals in your sport 4 years ago? The second one: who was your favorite teacher growing up? Chances are you struggled to answer the first and had a name quickly come to mind on the second. Why is that? Because we remember people, not results. He then plays a round of would you rather. Would you rather play professionally in your sport or have good character? Fortunately, it's not an either-or question, but statistically, more people actually say play professionally. Here's the bottom line. Playing professionally is what you do. Character is who you are. If in your mind you selected playing professionally, do you see that that demonstrates a higher value on what you do, the player, than who you are, the person? I recently spoke to an athlete from another college who shared his experience with me, that a coach loved those that helped him win games, but had little time to invest in those on the roster that didn't. And that's a travesty. I pray that as an athlete here at Lancaster Bible College that you felt valued as a person above a player. Please don't ever lose who you are in what you do. Time spent in developing who you are will pay dividends throughout a lifetime. So, choose standards over feelings, and choose person over player. And finally, choose to be a fountain, not a drain. Listen, I believe that God is on the throne, and I believe that He is in control. But let's be honest, there's a great division in our nation and in our world. And I believe it's primarily due to a me over we mentality. We can't see past ourselves. I recently heard an interview with Ernie Johnson, a believer who's a basketball analyst for the TNT network. He spoke about that division and a need to unite our country, and part of what the role he wants to play in rebuilding it. And he said he wanted to be a fountain, not a drain. A fountain flows into something, it fills up. A drain takes things and empties out. In terms of an approach to life, a drain is self-centered, self-seeking, and self-consumed. Life becomes about getting the most from people and doing the least for people. In terms of our approach to life, a fountain is others-minded, generous in service and treasure, and goes out of their way to honor the people around them. The Bible talks about it like this, in James 3:16, "For where you have envy and selfish ambition, there you will find disorder and every kind of evil." Sound accurate? You bet it does. In Proverbs 11:25, we read, "A generous man will prosper. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed." Does that sound accurate? You bet it does. So look for ways to add value to others, to take your capabilities and your character and use them to impact the people around you. Be a fountain, not a drain. So as you take a moment to reflect on your experience here at Lancaster Bible College, our prayer is that you've seen our mission lived out, that you feel that we have pushed you to grow and to become more capable, to choose standards over feelings, to make your bed. Our prayer is that you have been cared for as a person, that we have been examples of what it looks like to be more concerned about the person than the player. And it's our prayer that you have come to realize that although becoming more competent and developing your character will help you succeed in life, that those things are not meant solely for your personal profit, but truly meant to make a difference in the lives of those that God places along your path. So be a fountain, not a drain. At this time, we're going to ask Darren Rolls to come forward, and we're going to begin doing what we really want to do tonight, and that's honor our student athletes. Can we hear a warm Lancaster Bible College welcome for Coach Darren Rolls?
Thanks, Rod. Like Rod said, my name is Darren. I have the pleasure of coaching our men and women's tennis team, and we have one of each four-year seniors here today. If you guys can join me, please. Sarah Wetzel and Ming Bowser. When Zach was talking earlier, he talked about true building blocks of our programs. And these two individuals are exactly that. They have persevered through some difficult things, but we've had some phenomenal success over the last couple of years, and it's been my pleasure to coach them. So first, let me talk about Sarah. Sarah is known for having 37 oranges every match she plays, peeling them between sets, eating them consistently and refueling. And let me tell you, she knows how to order food. When in line at some of our restaurants, I've said, if I just order the same thing as Sarah, I will be okay. Over the last year, Sarah has taken her tennis game to a whole new level. It's been a pleasure to watch, from the development to her serve, to changing trajectories of the ground strokes coming at her. And her lob game is nothing short of iconic amongst our tennis team. You'll hear the guys and the girls talking about it. During one of our matches, this is a little bit about Sarah's personality, I approached her between games to have a little coaching session. I said, "How are things going?" She says, "She's consistent, but not as consistent as me." I said, "That's right," and I just love that confidence. Sarah, don't ever lose that confidence. Sarah is fiercely independent. No matter where we go, we run into people that Sarah knows, and she strikes up conversations with them, such as sheets in a far distant land for one of our away matches. She has no problem spending time alone, to the point that she consistently would explore all of our away colleges. The common phrase on our team was, "Where's Sarah?" So routine was this that we commonly talked about building a GPS into Sarah so we could find her, or having shirts made that read, you guessed it, where's Sarah? But lastly, and most importantly, Sarah is unashamed of who she is in Jesus Christ. Last week at playoffs, in her independent ways, I observed her start up a conversation with some random dude, no idea who he was. But I overheard her talking about God's calling on somebody's life. A matter of fact, unashamed way that is challenging and convicting. So while tennis is our game, we're far more interested in who our players are. And Sarah, you see the best in situations. We often find you with a huge smile on your face. And so we want to thank you for bringing joy to our tennis team. It's been a pleasure to coach you. Now Ming. From wearing a rice hat straight out of the fields of China, which is, I just found out, featured on the last page of your brochure there tonight, to wearing socks with fortune cookies on them to his tennis matches, Ming's sense of humor is simply incredible. Something we're going to truly miss. But Ming is an understated leader. He's not flashy, besides the hat and the socks. He doesn't draw attention to himself. But when the rubber meets the road, you can rest assured that Ming will be steadily leading the way with perseverance, respect, integrity, and character. Last year when we had some dissension amongst the team, it was Ming who came to me one-on-one and really initiated the healing process. Ming is the most coachable person that I've ever had the pleasure of coaching. He is humble, attentive, thoughtful, and methodical. You can tell him something once and you know that he's heard you. You know that it's stuck. It's rewarding as a coach to hear him talk about something that you had previously coached him about, or to see him intentionally applying it to his game or his mentality. Ming's also a great coach in his own right. Last year I took him to playoffs with me to help coach the girls. And he did a phenomenal job, so much so that the girls were begging him to come back. So this year when he went home, I had to tell him, sorry ladies, you're stuck with the mediocre coaches now. But in all seriousness, I could see this young man coaching the tennis team at LBC. It would be my honor to see that happen. And then lastly, I just want to tell a quick story from last year. Playing Penn College, Ming is in the middle of a marathon match, trading points with his opponent. It's going late, the last match of the day, everyone else is done. What the opponent doesn't know is that Ming gets stronger the longer he plays. He's unbreakable. Both men were tired. Both men were ready to quit. But Ming won the match, needless to say. And afterwards, he told me something to the effect of, I prayed, Lord, if I'm going to win this, it's got to be your strength in me. And that stuck with me. And so Ming, I hope that sticks with you the rest of your life, and that you rely on him. So you'll be able to say with Paul, therefore I will boast all the more gladly in my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Mr. and Mrs. Bowser, you have a lot to be proud of. I know I do. So Ming, Sarah, we'll miss you tremendously. It's been a pleasure spending the last few years with you. We're now going to present you with your jerseys. Ming's going to get his at a later date because the guys have not yet concluded their spring season. So thank you both.
honored to be able to speak about 4 great seniors that I've gotten to know over the last 4 years. So if they could come up and be with me, Adam Kellick, Will Welsh, Jacob Shank, Tyler Green. I'd like to first thank these seniors for their 4-year commitment, not just to be students here at LBC, but also be members of the baseball program. The impact that they have made not only on this team, but on the campus is truly an honor that I could be a part of. Now I get to speak about these 4 seniors individually. Adam Kelly from Jefferson, South Carolina. Recruiting him, I had no idea where that even was. I still struggle to find him on the map. Adam, over your 4 years here at LBC, I've gotten to see your growth and willingness to be a leader and to learn about Christ. Each day, watching you grow, not only in your faith, but also in your academics and life, is truly inspiring. I look forward to seeing you and continue to guide you in your future endeavors. Even though you are leaving, I know that there are going to be 2 sayings that will stick in our program. You guys will know. The first one is good pitch. And the second one, of course, go Dolphins. Coach, thank you for your 4 years of commitment, not just to LBC, but also be a member of this baseball program. Next, I get to recognize Jacob Shank from Hollywood, Florida. I know a lot better where this is at. Shank, over your 4 years as a player and 5 years as a student here, the growth that I have seen you walk with, not just in Christ, but also your spiritual growth, is something that makes your story at LBC something great and something special. Your leadership in SCA and your individual spiritual growth at LBC is something of inspiration. Your growth on the field is a parallel to your spiritual growth at LBC. Your desire to get into the weight room and in the cages over your years in our program shows why many of the team gravitates towards you. The biggest thing that I will miss is your casual strolls into my office, usually to not even talk about anything, but just to sit in silence. With that being said, Jacob Schneck, but also known as Shank, thank you for your commitment to this college and also to our baseball program. Next, I get to talk about number 19, Will Welsh, who's a lot closer to home for me, as Lancashire, PA is your home. Will doesn't need much of an introduction, as many of you know him from being a great baseball player on our team. With that being said, there are many things that people might not know about you, but the love in your heart and the caringness that you have towards children. Every single time that I get to go and watch you during the Charger PE, it is an encouragement to see that truly Lancashire Bible College is graduating good leaders that will teach the students of tomorrow. Will has a desire to teach and care for younger players on our team. I've heard several of them call him Dad or Pops because of his age. Your passion for teaching and motivating your walk with Christ is something that will make you a great teacher and coach in the future. I look forward to seeing that growth and also being your mentor through it. With that being said, William Wallace Welsh, thank you for your commitment to our college and to also our baseball program. Finally, I get to talk about my last senior, Tyler Greenlee, who's from Morgantown, PA. Greenlee, I first want to thank you for your commitment to the baseball program and as well as being a leader on our campus. Tyler is someone that wants to have that ball and be on the mound every single game. And every single game, I want to give it to him. But I have to worry about your arm as well and your future. I've come to learn Tyler doesn't have an off switch. Whether it's through his spiritual walk, academics, or athletics, he gives 100% all the time. I would also like to thank you for your hard work that you do in our athletic department as a student. Tyler, I look forward to seeing you work in an athletic department or in the sports management field in the future. A couple of names that these guys know you as is Green Machine, or as of this year, iPod. Your lightheartedness and love you show to the guys on the team is the biggest thing that I will remember about your 4 years at LBC. With that being said, Tyler Green Machine Greenlee, thank you for your commitment to the baseball program and also to this college. Bye.
Congratulations on being number 2 and 3 in program history to complete 4 years of softball here at LBC. It has not been an easy ride, which shows how committed you both are, even when it's tempting to give up. But you did it, together keeping God at the center. You have matured over the years into wonderful, godly women, and I'm proud of you both. Zoe, it has been such a joy getting to know you over the past 2 years. Now, most of you know Zoe. She always has a smile on her face. She is always laughing about something. She will drop everything at any time to help someone. I've seen her put 110% into everything she is a part of, whether it's her RA position, assignments for her business major, being a captain on the softball field, and loving her family the best she can. Zoe, your strong work ethic and genuine personality is going to get you far after you graduate. I want to encourage you, as you graduate, that the things we allow our eyes to see, our ears to hear, and our minds to process have a way of sticking with us far longer than we had ever imagined. So choose carefully what you expose yourself to. Romans 12:2 tells us not to conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That renewal of the mind happens when we clear of the junk this world bombards us with. I really appreciated your heart and passion for softball, and your desire to see the program grow, and your willingness to do anything to make that happen. Most of all, it has been such a blessing to walk alongside you and watch you to choose to walk in godliness and grow your relationship with Him. Every end has a new beginning. Morgan, it has been a blessing getting to know you over the past 2 years. You really amazed me this year with how you balance all your responsibilities. Being a social work major, internship, being a captain on the softball team, and you're getting married in 52 days. I know there were days you were exhausted, but you never complained. You were always willing to see the good in every situation. You always wanted to find a resolution instead of making an excuse. Your gentleness to speak the truth in love is admirable. Thank you for leading our team. You're going to be such a wonderful wife to Christian, and I'm excited most for you to be able to serve Christian as your husband. I say that because you not only get the purpose why we're here on earth, but I watched you live it out every day. I want to encourage you as life passes quickly, don't waste your time worrying about what you can't control. The Bible tells us in Philippians 4:6, don't worry about anything, instead pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. I was honored to walk through this season of life with you, so thank you for letting me in.
Okay, so I was the brilliant one that wrote in pencil, and I'm the oldest one here, so I can't read the pencil without a flashlight. I'm really sorry. Anyway, these are my lacrosse seniors: Hannah Thompson, Reagan Horst, Nicolette Statuti. I should say my 4-year seniors. We had some others also. These girls have been on a real journey. This year we learned a real lesson on we control what we can control, and we trust God with the rest. And it's been a growing year for us, but I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anyone else. So Nicolette, you have to look at me. What a ride. These past 4 years We spent a lot of time together. First 3 years, about once a week, all year. This year was harder because of all your student teaching and stuff. We had study times. We even had a practice, we had a practice teaching session. You taught me math. I'll never do division the same way again. Taught me a whole new perspective on some of your shenanigans and life experiences at LBC. Made me laugh, made me cry, and the adventures have never stopped. For 4 years, you stepped between the pipes for us. Not an easy job. Hardest one on the field. You endured shots from merciless shooters and accumulated more bruises than we could begin to count. You can thank these two for a majority of them. You'd wear them as a badge of honor and often name them after the people that gave them to you. I've always admired your perseverance. Can you just help them hold this? I'm shaking. I've always admired your perseverance, whether it was sticking it out in the goal or with your schoolwork. Even when things were challenging, you always knew you were meant to be a teacher. You knew it was the passion and gift that God gave you. You refused to compromise, and you kept pushing forward. Keep that steadfast faith, keep that confidence, and continue to lean in on God's strength as you continue to persevere, and use that determination as you go with those little ones. You're going to be an amazing teacher. Hannah. Little did I know, Hannah, when I watched you play soccer, U10 soccer out in the Twin Valley fields, that I would have the privilege of coaching you in college. And I really had no idea it would be in lacrosse. Neither did you at that time. You have a contagious smile and a contagious spirit that quickly spreads to others. Your positive attitude and your seemingly endless energy has kept our team moving and motivated, especially in these challenging times. You have been a diligent leader and gave our team life from the moment you stepped on the field. From your post-city declarations, that means we had the post, by the way, post-city declarations, your practice antics, I never knew quite what was coming every day, to getting everyone to play Mafia, and even our energetic pregame cheers. You led our team with class and encouragement. You did whatever it took to get out on the field, from drinking pickle juice, electrolyte pills, whatever concoction of BioFreeze or Icy Hot, whatever you could get on your legs to keep going. You even had your personal water girl up and down the sidelines to get you that water so you could stay in the game. You learned quickly, I have selective hearing. So if you're like, Coach, I need a sub, I don't think I ever heard that, actually. Just kept moving, right? Keep being true to you. Keep being true when you are teaching, when you are just you're such a true friend and such a true encouragement. And just keep being that. Keep being that genuine spirit and just using the gifts God's given you. And I said, what I wrote in there is, your physical education classes will be an experience that your students will never forget. All right. Don't even look at that. All right. So Reagan is also my daughter. So she had been giving a speech in FCA camp earlier that summer, I think it was. And she started talking. She's like, so how many of you have had your parent as a coach? And all the children are all raised, oh yeah. She goes, yeah, me too. And she said, so when I was your age, I had my mom as a coach. When I was in middle school, I had my mom as a coach. When I was in high school, I had my mom as a coach. And you know what? I'm in college and I still have my mom as a coach. I was like, oh my word, I sounded like that helicopter mom that just can't let her child go. But in my defense, they were different sports, and I did not follow her around everywhere. I think she followed me. But anyway, Reagan, one thing, no. One of the things with you and your athletics and just in who you are, Reagan is not one that wants to be in front or in the spotlight ever. And so one of the things that ever since she was young, coaches would give her dad and I a hard time, like, how come you're not telling her she needs to be selfish? I'm like, we're trying, but she's not listening. She just likes to be that feeder. She likes to be that person who helps others. And I said, what we really were seeing was a mirror to her passions. And I said, now as you're going on and you're closed out your athletic career, that you're really following that, and God has called you to help others see success. And in school counseling, you are going to walk beside people and you are going to help your students find success, and you're going to give them those assists and you're going to set them up for that. We're very proud of you for that. In her behind the scenes, she has been working individually with athletes. She'll bring them out in her spare time, and nobody knows what's going on. She brought FCA into LBC, and just continues to be a reflection of Christ in your humbleness. And I just want to encourage you to do that as you step out from here. And we don't need, I said, this is one last thing she said the other day. She goes, so my first season at LBC, I had 2 games left and tore my ACL. So how fitting that with 2 games left at LBC, I do the same thing. So we go out with a bang, right? All right, I just want to thank all 3 of you for what you've put into the program. You weren't supposed to do that. For what you put into the program, and you really have elevated the level of play. And for that I thank you, but more importantly, you've elevated the expectation, both spiritually and how you are on the field, everything about you. You've set that bar high for your teammates, and I appreciate that.
It's my privilege to speak on behalf of these four-year seniors, Jared Martin, Josh Rotz, Daniel Kreider, Nicholas Wesley. These past 4 years have seen a lot of success for these guys on the court, but all 4 of these guys committed 5 years ago when we as a team, to put it very kindly, were not very good at volleyball. And when you're a person like these guys, and you commit to a team like that, you know a couple things. First, you're going to be getting some playing time. Second, you have an opportunity to be a builder, to help shape and build not just the team, but the culture of a program. And I think these 4 young men are builders, they're investors, they understand the importance of investing in teammates, helping to build a culture that first and foremost honors God, LBC, the team, and themselves. Young men of character like these 4 just don't come along very often, and the impact they've had on our team and culture will last long past their time here. First up, I'd like to speak about Josh Rotz. Joshua Rotz First of all, Josh is from Hawaii, if you can tell that, probably not. That is an important part of who Josh is, that he is from Hawaii. I'd like to think I had a hand in getting and recruiting him here to Pennsylvania, but I think he chose LBC because he didn't like the weather in Hawaii very much. Is that true, Josh? I remember recruiting Josh, and I'd stay up till 12 midnight to make a call with the time change, and I'm thinking, there's no way this guy's coming here. We were not his first choice, but we were glad, which is actually a common theme with all these guys, but I'm really glad that God brought you here to see Josh. In Josh's 4 years here, I've called him many things, but a couple descriptive traits stand out to me. First, Josh is a chair stacker. A chair stacker is someone who has a servant's heart, puts the team's success over individual status. Josh's role has changed from a starting outside his freshman year to libero, serving specialist, defensive specialist, a lot of specialists in there the past 3 years. He's never complained, just worked hard and made the most of his opportunities. He put the team above his own desires and encouraged and lifted them up. I'd also describe Josh as super glue. Josh is the stuff that sticks to anything, fills in the cracks, and holds us together. He's able to do that because he's level-headed, can see the larger picture, help to keep things in perspective for us. Josh, you set a great example in your faith, your attitude, and your actions for other players to follow. Thank you for 4 hard years of great work, dedication, and Rebecca stories. Josh, you'll be missed. Nicholas Wesley is up next. Nick is often called the team mom, and that's in a good way. One reason may be that Nick has hosted on a recruiting visit just about every player that is on our roster. I don't know what he's telling them, but when him and Jared roomed together their freshman year, they had a 100% commit rate for recruits that visited. And if you know the size of our team, that's like 20 plus recruits, so nice job. And if you don't know, Nick doesn't like hugs. So the team, or maybe it was Jared, I don't remember, started the legendary Wesley Wednesdays, which means that on Wednesday, first time you see Nick, you have to give him a hug. Over the past 4 years, Nick has grown to enjoy a lot of good hugs. I have a lot of respect for Nick because for most of my recruits, his year and in years prior, I had to do a lot of convincing and getting a lot of no, LBC is not for me answers. But with Nick, he knew. Nick knew right from the beginning that God wanted him at LBC. I think he committed to LBC the second time I met him. I'm so thankful that God that he brought you here, Nick, and that LBC was the right fit for you. Nick has battled through injuries through 4 years of playing, but that has not kept him from giving his best and finding other ways to impact the team. Thank you for your impact here these past 4 years. I appreciate everything you've done, both on and off the court for this program, showing Christ's love through how you love the team and how you build into their lives. Thanks, Nick. Dan Kreider. When Dan showed up 4 years ago, he was 6'7", but knew nothing about volleyball. But again, he was 6'7", so he made the team. Dan's story is a good one. How he improved and became one of the best players to go through this program as a 4-year starter and multiple all-conference player. Playing middle hitter, which Dan does, is often a thankless job. You always have to attack in your approach. But you get set not a lot, or not at all. And when you're blocking, you have to go side to side. And if you don't get there, everybody's always yelling at you because there's this big hole in the block. And so it's a tough, effortful job. But Dan has mastered the position and really improved. It's a great story, but Dan's biggest impact, I think, has come off the court. Dan is an investor. He invests in the guys' lives. He genuinely cares about each one of the guys on the team, is intentional to build into them spiritually. Dan, even with your majestic 6'7" status, you're kind-hearted, respectful, and wise. You willingly put aside personal gain for the betterment of our team. Thank you for your investment into this team. Your encouragement and spiritual leadership will be missed. Jared Martin. 5 years ago, Jared was not interested in attending LBC, basically because he lives 5 minutes away, and he's 5 houses up from my house. I could not convince Jared to come to LBC, and since he was my neighbor, I was thinking, how bad of my recruiter am I that I can't even get my neighbor to come to LBC? Finally, I nagged Jared enough, and he decided to come for a visit. And when he left that visit, he was a little bit upset. He was angry because he came and he really enjoyed it, and now he knew he had to come. Jared, I'm so thankful that God brought you here to LBC because I really believe you have maybe had the single biggest influence on our program these past 4 years. From hosting recruits to being a hard worker on the court to helping out struggling teammates and leading as a captain, you've set the tone for our culture for the future. I have a lot of respect for Jared from going from a starting setter as a freshman to not starting these past 3 years, but with really no fault of his own. That's tough, but to be still a leader and an investor in the team says a lot about who Jared is. Because of who Jared is, we've leaned on him to keep us centered on honoring God first and foremost, both on and off the court. Thank you, Jared, for 4 years of investment in being a builder of not just the men's volleyball program, but helping us grow and develop our relationship with Christ. Thanks so much.
Good evening. I'm Ryan Gabin, the cross-country coach here. It is my honor to be able to talk about Tanner Crow today. TJ, I remember the second time we met and we decided to go out for a short run because that's just what cross-country guys do. Anyway, our plan was to talk some about your goals for the upcoming season, and I think heading into that you were going into your junior year and I was going into my first season coaching here at LBC. Going into that run, I believe we both had a little bit of something to prove, and I remember coming through the first mile with you in 5:45. And you know what, man, ever since then we have been pushing each other to become better. It's not for me to say whether I've made TJ a better runner or not, but I want you to know that you've made me a better coach. TJ, throughout your 4 years here, you have elevated the level of competitiveness at LBC Cross Country, and you have led by example with sacrificing for the team, never complaining, and putting in the daily hard work. You have shown the team what ritualistic consistency and dedication to your craft look like, as well as the benefits that kind of devotion brings. TJ, you were one of the main reasons that we were able to win our first ever cross-country championships this past fall. Your courage, tenacity, and overcoming spirit in spite of a very discouraging injury just shone through to the team, and it empowered us and elevated us on that day to be able to do something truly special. And for that, I thank you, and I know the team thanks you. TJ, you have the true heart of a distance runner, and that is evident in the amount of courage and strength you face every day with. I am honored to have been your coach. I feel privileged to have gotten to know you over these past 2 years. Thank you for all of your many contributions to LBC Cross Country. We are indebted to you.
and thank you so much for going after Jade. I didn't want to follow him this year. My name is Allie Brown. I'm a women's soccer coach here at LBC. This is my second season. We have 3 four-year seniors, Hatch, Michaela, and Maddie. So I get the opportunity to speak about them. Maddie, Nick, and Hatch have made up 3/4 of our defense for the last several years. They're 3 of the most mentally tough, emotionally intelligent, yet averse to change young women I have ever met. When I got the coaching job at LBC 2 years ago, I met Michaela first. I asked her if there's anything I should know about the team. She informed me that the 3 of them are not good at change. I thought she was exaggerating a little bit, so I didn't think much of it until one day when I accidentally messed up the lineup and put Maddie on the wrong side, and their faces were like sheer panic. So I quickly corrected my mistake, and all was rectified. I didn't make that mistake again. So when I went to change the formation of their defense this past year, I gave them several months to emotionally prepare for that change. I'm going to speak about Michaela first. Michaela has been a captain since her junior year. Going into her senior year, she got married, and I was a little worried she wouldn't be able to balance it all, even though it was very stressful at times, and it would have been much easier for her to cut out soccer. She always made time for her teammates. I'm not sure if she knows that I know this, but she still meets regularly with her freshman prayer partner. While I was in a one-on-one meeting, I asked her freshman how she enjoyed her freshman year at LBC. She said, without hesitation, that she would not have made it through the year without Michaela as a friend and now her mentor. This is just one example of how she has led the team the past several years. She is the first to gently encourage her teammates to be better and was relentlessly supportive. Michaela, never doubt your ability to impact those around you. Your heart for others is one of your greatest strengths. My prayer for you is that you would have the strength and courage to continue to love those around you, even when it seems like it's not making a difference. You will be an amazing influence on so many young people in the counseling field. I know this because I have seen the impact you have made on each individual in this program already. Next up is Maddie Dion. Maddie is without a doubt the toughest person I know. On the field, she can't be matched, and I'm convinced she has stopped more breakaways by sheer determination than her unbelievable speed. Maddie is an exciting player to watch, but more importantly, is an incredibly kind and caring person. I worked with her high school soccer coach, who told me about a time when Maddie knocked a girl over and she stopped playing in the middle of the game to help her up and make sure she was okay. Thankfully, she didn't do that in college. When I first started coaching, Zach Freeman was telling me about the team, and he said that he had yet to see a game where Maddie's mark scored. He wasn't exaggerating. This year, when we needed a spark in our offense, I would push Maddie forward, and again, she would manufacture goals just by her absolute hustle, and she ended her senior season as one of the leading scorers on the team. Maddie, you have such a great heart for others, and though I know your journey hasn't always been smooth, you have taken life as it comes, trusting in God for strength all along the way. Your strength and courage in the face of adversity is something that challenges me often. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable with others. Your faith in God and His providence in your life has already had such an impact on those who have the gift of knowing you. Last but not least, Hatch. When I was thinking of words that described Hatch, the word enforcer kept coming to mind. She was a captain this past year, but has been an outspoken leader from the day I met her. I have had the privilege of watching Hatch over the past 2 years, cried with her when she experienced injuries this season, and celebrated her victories, most notably when she got engaged to her soon-to-be husband. On the field, Hatch is a steady presence and our vocal leader. Hatch is loyal, and like the other 2 seniors, has had many coffee dates with teammates to encourage and challenge them. Hatch was always the first to stop practice and challenge her teammates to raise the level of intensity, which made my job a lot easier. But what makes Hatch a great leader is she is also the first person to meet and pray with someone, to take the time to listen to how others are doing in life and with Christ. Hatch also doesn't know that I know this, but a few weeks ago, a teammate asked if Hatch would help her practice. Hatch, who is undoubtedly planning her wedding, working full-time, more than likely 2 jobs, She took 3 hours out of her day to come to campus and work with her. This is just one story of many of Hatch sacrificing time for others. Hatch, your spirit and heart for the Lord are so evident. You hold those around you accountable so well because you hold yourself to even higher standards. You push people by showing them who God has made them to be. Your strength is in caring for others, and your drive to continuously grow closer to Christ is rare for someone your age. Never stop loving people, and don't forget to give yourself grace.
I was hoping Allie would cry, so then I look really good. So finding the right words to say about each of these four young ladies, Hannah Thompson, Erin Harkey, soon to be someone else, right? Just checking. How many days now?
31.
31 days.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Hannah Geip and Jenny Mulvey. It's been difficult to find the words because of everything you've gone through over the last 4 years. They have endured much over their time here at LBC, from the depths of losing a teammate after 3 coaching changes in as many years. Pete, I think you finally got it right, so way to go, good on you. Good, is that going? Pete said he liked to be kind of ripped, so I was like, all right, that's fine. To setting program records this last year, one word comes to mind, and that is resilient. You have put in time and effort, a lot of tears, a lot of work, but it has paid off, and I'm so grateful for it. These four are the foundation of a culture that is, it's difficult to probably put into words as well. So I'm grateful for your leadership. Jenny, for all the motherly duties that you always have. Always keeping me in line, making sure, Coach, did you do this? No, Jenny, I did not do that. But thanks for reminding me. So I'm grateful. Hannah Geip, I could always count on Hannah to look me square in the eyes, say, yes, sir, in a long southern drawl, and smile, even after being called out for a missed assignment, and somehow convincing me that she was sincere in doing that. You always found satisfaction in the little things and always seemed to bring a positive, get the next one attitude that a team needs and a coach loves. Thank you, Hannah. Jenny, again, being a team mom, your role has changed many times over, but that's been consistent, I can say that much. One thing that never did change was your work ethic and your strong leadership attitude we could always count on. You're the kind of teammate, friend, and leader that any coach would desire, and for that, I'm thankful. Erin, I always knew it would be an eventful day when Erin would walk into practice or into my office looking like she just got up from a winter-long hibernation. She's known for her long naps that she enjoyed. Usually a couple minutes late. And I have to say, the first thing they probably remember about me, or that's a big deal to me, is being on time. I told them a story about playing for a Japanese coach, and he would always nail us for not being on time.
His English was broken, and he was always saying, just on time, just on time. I did not come on time tonight, but that's okay. You continue to do that. Aaron, you always work tirelessly from somehow managing to make plays when our backs were against the wall. Your joy in the ups and downs of the season were always appreciated and will be missed. Hannah Thompson, I'll never forget our first interaction. I didn't know your name 2 years ago, but I noticed two things about you. You were literally half of my size, and you always put in a full day's work in half the time. So naturally I called you halftime, and it stuck. Your infectious smile could light up the locker room and the court. Your nickname may be halftime, but there were plenty of moments this year when it may as well have been big time. Any coach would be lucky to have a player with a never say die attitude that you bring. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to be a part of your careers over the last 2 seasons, and I'm excited to see and hear what God does in and through each of you in the future.
Well, as they finish up taking pictures, my name is Tommy Art. I'm the men's soccer coach at LBC, and it's my honor to talk for a few minutes about Jared Jordan and Tony Gaiman and what they've meant to our program. And reflecting a little bit on this night, because I've been to a few of these, and this is what it's about. These relationships going forward. These two guys I know will stay connected for a long time. And Jared, first for you. You're such a steady, smooth guy. You're just always laid back as can be. And I remember recruiting you. We sat down in Benny's, and I explained the program and the philosophy and the schedule and the commitment. And some of it involves early morning workouts, as all the athletes can attest to with Coach Horst. And so I asked him if he was good with that. And he's the only person that usually they all would say, yeah, oh yeah, I'm there. He just looked and said, I got to think about that. And I really appreciated the honesty there. And I had a sense that if he came back and said, yeah, I'm actually good with that. I want to play at LBC and part of men's soccer. I had a sense that he would be all in for those, and he was. And so to see his game just develop over the years was really fun to watch. This year, everybody said that he played with so much sauce because when he got the ball on the wing one-on-one, we were just waiting for the guy to get beat, and it happens so often. So JJ was just so fun coaching you, man. You got better and better. This year he had a fantastic goal against Cairn, which is a school that recruited him pretty hard, so it was like a double win when he scored against them to beat them. But he cut inside and just ripped the shot into the corner. It's a shame we don't have video of that because they had rain over there that day. So, but he sprinted to the sideline and did an amazing European soccer celebration, slide on his knees, and everyone went nuts. And so you can see him light up in those moments, but normally off the field, so laid back, so calm, so cool, and just fun to hang out with. And so really enjoyed coaching JJ. For Tony, kind of the opposite guy. He's just came in from day one crazy, just passionate. And I remember the ID camp where he came to our first ID camp recruiting him. He kind of put a kid in the hospital, and we knew that he was going to have to rein in a little bit. And hopefully we did that, but I'm not sure if we did or not. So Tony led with passion from day one. He was the outspoken leader. JJ was the quiet leader. Both influencers for good on our team, but Tony was just nonstop positive energy. And every coach knows you've got to have that guy. And so Tony didn't start many games, played in most games, and but I will say that his worth and value to the team is immense, and we wouldn't be where we're at without you. So I'm a little worried next year, to be honest, with leadership. There may be some players who might be starters who are going to step into leadership roles, as Tony was the captain, but I know we're going to miss your leadership big time, and so I want to make sure that we can capture that somehow. But one memory from Tony is in practice, it was right around Thanksgiving, he was having a good day in training, which he often did. And he dribbled through a few guys, scored a beauty of a goal, and just jumped in the air, celebrated, and he just goes, "Is it Thanksgiving? Because I'm carving you guys up." I just lost it. I love that comment. I will never forget that. He has comments like that that just flow from him. So, Tony, you're passionate, you're hardworking, you're energetic, and just both you guys, Tony, never lose that passion. Just be on fire for the right things, as I've seen you grow. And JJ, be steady, be immovable, stand up for the right things, as I've seen you grow in that. And you guys will do awesome. So I'm going to miss you guys. Love you guys.
The end. What a great evening. I want to say thank you to each of the student athletes represented here. Probably my favorite trait that I admire most is commitment. And this is probably the most special time for me as an athletic director, is to see the people who committed 4 years of their life. Zach referred to it earlier. Had to go back to 2015 for the person that called today. And he could have been here, but for whatever reason, something changed in his life. But for you 24, it didn't change. And so I want to say thank you. I also want to ask our president, Dr. Tay, who for the last 20 years has demonstrated commitment. And I'm honored that he's here. I'm honored that you get to graduate in his final year. So it's something that will be commemorative for all of us. We're going to recognize there are 11 of you who have not only succeeded in the athletic arena, but also in the classroom. And so we have 11 of you that have participated for 4 years and achieved a GPA of 3.5 or higher. So we have a little note from the president and a little check from the president as well that he will give to you. So as you're called, if you will come forward, we will give it. Dr. Tay will give it to you. Ming Bowser with a 3.62. Morgan Burkholder with a 3.81. Maddie Dion with a 3.61. Aaron Harkey with a 3.74. Kirsten Hatch with a 3.95. Tanner Krob with a 3.89. Michaela Landis with a 3.77. Jenny Mulvey, 3.95. Hannah Thompson with a 3.67. Nicholas Wesley, 3.56. Sarah Wetzel with a 3.82. And one